आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सॉल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Hey, the problem is we have to prove that each of the following function is differentiable at x equals to 0. So the first function is f of x equals to cos x, cos mod x. So when we say that for values of x which are less than 0, the value of equals to cos x, because cos of minus x is equals to cos x, right? So this is first part. Now when we say that cos x, this x is greater than 0, so that is equals to fx, and that is equals to cos x, because cos of x is equals to cos of x. Now what do we have to do? We have to prove the differentiability of this function at x equals to 0. So for that we have to prove that limit x tends to 0 at f of x is what? So for that we are going to do three things. There is the left hand limit, the right hand limit, and the value of f of x at x equals to 0. Simple. So if we talk about the left hand limit, then this becomes limit x tending to 0 minus f of x is what? Cos x, right? Now we know that value of cos x at 0 is equals to 1, so this becomes equals to 1. If we talk about the right hand limit, then this is limit x tending to 0 plus cos of x, so x equals to 0, so we can again write cos 0 as 1. If we talk about fx at x equals to 0, then this is limit x tending to 0 at f of x is cos x, so this becomes equals to again 1. So we can clearly see that all the three values are equal, so it is a differentiable function at x equals to 0. Now let us move on to the next part, which says that the f of x is equals to x mod x. So if we say that x is less than 0, then f of x is equals to minus x square, and if we say that x is greater than 0, then f of x is equals to x square. So if we find the left hand limit and the right hand limit and f of x at x equals to 0, so that is going to be, left hand limit is like limit x tends to 1, this is 0 minus, and this f of x at x less than 0 is minus x square, so this becomes minus x square. But when we put the value of x equal to 0 in this equation, this is obtained as 0. If we talk about right hand limit, then this is x tending to 0 plus f of x is x square, so this becomes x square, so this also becomes 0. And at x equals to 0, limit x tending to 0, f of x is x square, so this becomes equals to 0. So clearly these three values are equal, so this function is also differentiable at x equals to 0. Then let us move on to the next part, which says that if f of x is equals to modulus of x cube, so we can write this function as here, this is 2, that f of x is equals to modulus of x cube. So if x is less than 0, then f of x becomes equals to minus, this is minus x cube, and if x is greater than 0, then we can say that f of x is equals to x cube. So if we talk about the left hand limit, then this becomes limit x tending to 0 minus f of x is minus x cube. When we put the value of x equal to 0, we obtain 0. If we talk about the right hand limit, this is limit x tending to 0, and this is f of x, that is equals to x cube, so that is also equals to 0, this is 0 plus. And if we talk about the value of this function at x equals to 0, then limit x tending to 0, fx is basically x cube, that is also 0, right? So we can say that these three values are equal, so this function is also differentiable at x equals to 0. Now let us talk about the next part of this question, which says that f of x is equals to x upon 1 plus modulus of x. So if this is our function, that f of x is equals to x upon 1 plus modulus of x, then if the value of x is less than 0, then f of x becomes equals to x upon 1 minus x, and if the value of x is greater than 0, then we can write f of x as equals to x upon 1 plus x. So we have to find the value of right hand limit, left hand limit, and value of f of x at x equals to 0. So if we write the value of left hand limit, then this becomes limit x tending to 0 minus f of x, which is equals to x upon 1 minus x, and when we write the value of x equals to 0, this becomes 0. Similarly, to calculate the value of right hand limit, this becomes 0 plus, and this is f of x. F of x is x upon 1 plus x. When we write the value of x equals to 0, this becomes equals to 0. To calculate the value of f of x at x equals to 0, this becomes x upon x 1 plus x, so this is also equals to 0. Again, the three values are equal to each other, so this function is also differentiable, and hence we have proved that all the four functions in the given question are differentiable at x equals to 0.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट, IIT, JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।